All right, in our 10th and final Physical Friday Hotel Workout 10. We'll keep doing the Physical Friday, but we're going to bring the hotel series to a close. So we've talked about so many things. If we have nothing and we have to stay in the room, if we use the stairs, if we use the parking garage, if there are some pieces of equipment we can use in the gym, dumbbells, treadmills, pull-up bars, things like that. If we have to go outside, if we have to be in the parking lot, really, there's no excuse for not being able to get a workout in. And often it's as simple as just needing some creative ideas and also knowing what it is that you're going to do the night before, laying out your clothes, knowing what time you're going to get up, knowing exactly where you're going to go and what you're going to do. That makes all the difference in the world. We also had an underlying theme through this whole thing of journaling, of how important it is to write down or document in some way, shape, or form what you're doing, what the time is, what the weights are, so that you can remain focused and see improvements and also remain motivated. So all of those things happening on this last one, we're going to envision that you finally get to the hotel that has all the stuff that you need. It's got a treadmill that works. It's got a bunch of dumbbells. You brought your jump rope. It's got a pull-up bar, and there's a pool nearby. And you brought your goggles, just like we talked about. So here's a couple of ways that you can incorporate various pieces of that into a travel workout that you can do pretty much any time that you have those pieces of equipment. So let's say that you have a gym, you're in an unsafe place, you can't run outside for the weather or because it's just not a good place to run, but you walk in there and you see that you have a pull-up bar and a working treadmill. Okay, there's a workout, one of my favorite workouts of all time, called Murph, and you could do some sort of variation of the Murph workout. Murph looks like this. You run a mile, you do 100 push-ups, you run a mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and you run a mile. There are various ways that you can break this up. You can do it what's called partitioned, which is where you would run a mile, and then you would do, say, 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups, 30 squats, or 5, 10, 15, and do 20 rounds of that, and then you would run a mile. That's partitioned. You're breaking the work up. You're only doing 5 pull-ups at a time. Another way you can do it is non-partitioned, which I think is much harder, where you run the mile and then you fully complete all of the 100 pull-ups before you move on to the 200 push-ups. And you fully complete those before you move on to the 300 squats, and then you run your final mile. I think that you'll find that you can do it much faster, partitioned, than you can non-partitioned. So that adds a little variety. Sometimes you might want to try this in a partitioned workout, and sometimes you might want to try it non-partitioned and see which one you like better, which one's more challenging, which one takes longer. If you're not quite there yet, you can obviously scale this back. Let's cut everything in half. You run a half a mile, you do 50 pull-ups, you do 100 push-ups, and you do 150 squats, and you run a half a mile. Of course, you could cut that in half again. Run 400 meters, 25 pull-ups. 100 or 50 push-ups and 100 squats, and then run 400 meters. So you could walk and do, ring rows or body rows for the pull-ups. You can do whatever fits your fitness level. Not really important. If you want to challenge yourself, you can try Murph non-partitioned, even if you're doing it on the treadmill. It's going to be very difficult, tough workout. Good one for you. So if you got a pull-up bar and a treadmill, that's one suggestion. You can obviously, through all the things that you've learned on this 10-part series, you can create your own workouts, and I encourage you to do so. You can also research your own workouts. You can get into Google, put in pull-up bar, treadmill, pull-up bar, run, CrossFit workouts or workouts of any kind, and you can come up with your own ideas. I encourage you to do so. If you have a pull-up bar, a treadmill, and some dumbbells, which a lot of gyms do, here's one you could try. 3 rounds for time. You do 12 pull-ups, 12 dumbbell snatches, at 45 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever the heaviest dumbbell that you have in there. Then you get on the treadmill and you run 200 meters and you do that 3 times. Something like that would be a good suggestion for using 3 pieces of equipment: the pull-up bar, the treadmill, and the dumbbells. If you had you wanted to throw in another piece of equipment, the jump rope that you bought, brought, you could try 21-15-9, which is a common CrossFit rep scheme. So you would do 21 pull-ups, 21 dumbbell thrusters, 21 double unders, and then run 400 meters. You would come back and then do 15 pull-ups, 15 dumbbell thrusters, 15 double unders, and then run 400 meters. Then come back for the final round of 9 pull-ups, 9 dumbbell thrusters, and 9 double unders, and then run the final 400 meters. So that's 3 rounds of descending reps in a 21-15-9 schedule, and that something like that could offer a good workout for you. If you wanted to incorporate the pool and you had a small pool, you could run a mile on the treadmill or outside, jump in the pool, tread water for 5 minutes. You do a plank for 5 minutes after that, maybe go through that twice. Or, if you didn't want to change shoes and you wanted to, once you got wet, you couldn't walk through the lobby or run through the lobby all wet, understand, maybe run 2 miles, tread water for 5 minutes, plank for 5 minutes, tread water for 5 minutes, then plank for 5 minutes. You could break it up like that if you wanted to. You could use your imagination. There's really no limit to any of this. The trick is really, trying to come up with something that's going to keep you interested, keep you entertained, get your heart rate up, work on a little strength work. And oftentimes, we're using these travel workouts not necessarily to achieve elite fitness, but to maintain it, to not lose it, to also maintain that mental edge of knowing that you got the workout in, knowing you haven't fallen off the rails, knowing that you did the work you needed to do, and you did it in an environment that is austere sometimes, in an environment that your time is limited, your equipment is limited. So many things are pulling on you, but you managed to get it in, and that's a win. And when you can win like that, it's easier to win in other ways, to not eat the dessert, to, make the better choice all the way around. You sleep better too when you when you're traveling, or certainly when I'm traveling. I can't speak for you, but when I'm traveling and I am getting my exercise in, I definitely sleep better, because I don't really sleep very well on the road anyway. I like my own bed, I like my own house. That's pretty awesome. But when you're on the road, often your sleep is messed up. If you can kind of wear yourself out a little bit, sleep a little better. At least I do. Sleep's very important, and we're going to talk about this on Physical Friday in a future episode. But those are just some ideas for how to get your workout in a hotel. And we talked about so many different things: how to do it with no equipment, with some equipment, mixing the equipment, mixing the environments, going outside, going inside, using the stairs, using what's around you. Those are all important things. And now you're equipped with the tools to do it for yourself. And if you want to, you can go to the website, tomrowlandpodcast.com, and we'll have all these articles up that will have the different workouts that we've gone over specifically. And you can repeat these exact workouts. But it's not necessarily important that you repeat these exact workouts. You can if you want to. Lots of people do. I will. But you don't have to. You can create your own now. And that's really that's the gift. The gift is being able to do it yourself, not being afraid, not knowing how to do it. Your trainer, the person that runs your CrossFit gym, your exercise guru, sometimes they're coming up with some really amazing workouts that are incredibly effective and beautiful in a very simple way. But you know what? You just throw a bunch of different movements together. Get it done. You got to remember that on this travel, you're surviving. You're using what you can. and you're making sure that you are getting your work in and you're not missing the workout. So don't worry about doing it right. Worry about getting it done. And we talked about how to get it done so many times, pretty much on every one of these episodes. Know what you're going to do the night before. Lay out your clothes, know what time you're going to get up, and know exactly what time that you are going to be wherever, in the parking lot, in the stairway, at the gym, wherever you're going, the pool. And once you commit to that before you go to bed, man, 98% of the work is done. Seriously. That's the secret. Commit the night before and know what you're going to do. Write it down. And if you do that, there is a very, very low likelihood, at least in my opinion, that you're not going to do it. And you know what? Sometimes when you don't want to do it, just say, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to scale this back a little bit. And a lot of times when you start, you go for a minute or two and then you don't need to scale it back anymore. You feel great. Everything's working right and you get it done. So we're going to bring this 10-part series of Physical Friday hotel workouts to a close, but we have so many more topics to go over. I sat down when I was in Bimini and I had a lot of time to think about this, and I wrote out 55 different episodes that I thought you might find interesting. And so I hope you do. If you are liking these, please send me an email at podcast@saltwaterexperience.com. Let me know which part of them you liked, if there were certain workouts that you really liked, if you have any questions, any of that kind of stuff. That's where to get me. That's where to hit me up. And if you have suggestions for other Physical Fridays, let's talk about it. I'll see what I can do. And if I don't know it, I'll find somebody that does. All right. Until next time, we'll see you.